because, yeah, I'm not listening. What's up, everybody? What's good? Alright, I got it. Alright, alright.
Look who it is.
What's up? Oh my god, I haven't seen you in so long. I could cry.
I just got you. That was good. We can crack that.
It's good to see you.
What's up, Enrique?
Alright, guys. What's up? You already know it's your favorite Jedi, BMF Goddess. I am here today with actually one of my closest friends, Tim. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome, not from. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Everybody, the topic today, as many of you have seen, is that of I'm dating someone in prison. That would be Tim.
Don't worry, it's not. Chris isn't. He's not in jail. He's good. He's alive. He's working. You know, he's doing his thing.
Please feel free to write your questions or comments below. Do interact because I'm gonna have some questions that I'm gonna want to know if you guys feel the same. Because as I stated before, Tim is one of my closest friends, so of course I'm really overly critical about his love life and his happiness. So I'm not all the way okay with the situation, which he already knows. But I support whatever makes him happy.
And just let everyone know that no opinion is a wrong opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And, you know, your questions are nothing's off the wall, nothing's off kilter. If you can say what you need to say and get it out. It's my opinion and how I have my relationship with this person is how I deal with it. You may not, if you decide to go the route I do and date someone who is in prison, you may have the same situation or different situation, but everyone's situation is different. So don't entail my story that it's going to be like your story. Everyone has a personal story. Everyone has a personal growth and personal journey. And, you know, don't think that, because Tim's relationship's like this, mine's going to be the same way.
All right, Kevsiah said, why date a prisoner? I understand being in love and happy.
Why date a prisoner? Because I think that prisoners deserve second chances. You know, I was incarcerated a couple of times. Hey, Carmen, how are you? I'm glad one of my viewers came in. You know, prisoners deserve second chances. Everyone deserves to be happy. You know, and so we'll get more into that, Jay, and I really appreciate the comment.
We got a question from Big Sal Salbowski. How did you, and all right, we're gonna get to that actually. So how did you and this person meet? So I'm gonna take it back to the beginning. How did this happen? How do you guys even come in contact? Because he did not know this person prior to them being in prison.
Yeah. Okay, so I was working in New York. I've been a traveling chef for about a year. You know, just because of work, because COVID has definitely done a lot of work to us. And I was in Philadelphia earlier this year. I moved back to New York, Long Island area to be a chef. And I was fascinated with inmates. I was fascinated with the inmate thing. And I went to this one particular site. I cannot give that because of dealing with bullshit from that site. But, you know, I decided to...
What was fascinating?
It was fascinating because, you know, it's just like one of those things that, you know, the fascinating of the known, like, you know, the unknown, what could be happening out of this. So around July of this year, I decided to message this person. Her name's Taylor. And we started talking. And then we just talked. We started talking and texting. Like, you know, people like, how do you text in jail? You don't have a cell phone. Well, because she's in a federal lockup. And that's what happened. Like, you know, she gets a text app number. So I may send her a message now and she'll get that 2 hours later or hours later. Depends on when she gets a computer. So really that depends on that. And then we started talking around my birthday in August. And it's been, Jay, I really like how you're being positive about this because people do want to be thriving, evolve. Yes, that's very true. And we started talking, and we started being serious, and it's been 3 months. So it's been a happy 3 months. It hasn't been all daisies because it's been hard, but we deal with it.
Jay said, well, I can say, look, no one is perfect, and a lot of people deserve a chance, and some don't. And in all honesty, you will know who will catch your attention. Doesn't matter what happened or what they did. You'd be surprised how people want to push themselves to thrive and evolve.
Very true.
Jay, you can join us if you want. Just send the request. I'm gonna just say, we did conduct a little experiment. Me and Tim.
Yep.
Do you remember this? I'm gonna add you right now.
I remember the experience, and
we conducted an experiment with her.
So the experiment with her was that because it got serious, I've put money on her books every other week. I've done that for the past 3 months, and we really want to see like her faithfulness. See if she's, because when I first came into this relationship, I was like skittish as shit. I'm like, how many guys is she talking to? How many guys is she giving this attention to? Like all this. And I was like, I want to see if she's really legit. So I asked Goddess to make a fake name, text her the number I gave her, and see if she's being legit. And sure enough, she's been legit. And that's kind of interesting, because when you're in prison, you're in survival mode. You're in survival mode where, any kind of outsider, gives you attention. You want to grasp onto that because they can put money on your books for you. They can give you conversation of what you're missing from the inside, let you know the ins and outs of the outside when you're locked in. And I admit it, when I was incarcerated, I used to hold on to anything I could of my friends on the outside to try to get what I needed. And, I was afraid. And I went into this really thoroughly, and it's been really good. We have video chats once a week. We also phone call twice a week. So it's been really wonderful. What's up, Jay? How are you?
What's up, man? How's everything, man?
Good.
Just hearing your story.
Before you continue, my side of the story is much different. I don't have complete trust in her and I'm just being real, because, when we conducted the experiment, I pretty much, I made believe that I was another dude and, trying to holler at her, whatever. And the fact that she even responded to me when she's talking to somebody who's taking care of her, for me, that was already a red flag. Does anyone else agree with that? That's all I want to know.
The one thing that
what do you think, Jay?
When she...
I'm hearing you both. I'll let him finish and then I'll start.
When she conducted her experiment and she said that there was a red flag with that because she was talking to other dude, and even entertaining money, I said what I had to say to her. I said, so how are you entertaining it? And she gave me shit for it. She's like, I'm not entertaining it, in case may be. I'm like, you're not entertaining it, but you still want to some. It's like, to me, if I'm yours and you're claiming to be mine, and you get out in 3 years, that you're my ride or die, you're going to be there for me. And I'm going to be there for you. But ever since that, she hasn't responded back to talk. She hasn't said anything.
Nikki said she was emotionally cheating. Yeah.
She can be emotionally cheating.
I would think to feel Goddess, but anyone in the moment of weakness can make a mistake.
Can I respond to that?
Absolutely.
in all honesty, like, look, what I've been experimenting for all these years, like, Goddess knows. Me and her know each other about our past and everything, with relationship and family. Like, we got to know each other very well. We do podcasts a lot together. But there's one thing I do want to say when it comes to that. Look,
guys, this is Kev.
What's up?
What's up, yo?
How's it going? Welcome. This is what I gotta say about that. Like, everybody can make a mistake. That's true. But is it really a mistake when you do it more often? It's not, because you turn it into a habit. And that was the thing that I spoke about it with my significant. Like, you know, you gotta understand that a mistake is a mistake, but if you repeat it, and it doesn't matter what the circumstance it is. Like with you, for example, Tim, like you're dating a prisoner, and you know the Goddess has her spouse, I have my spouse, a break, or it doesn't matter what it is. You always gotta remember that the respect has to be there. And when you make a mistake, it could be emotionally, it could be like you could be mad at the world. You do it, you're just showing yourself that you're lowering your standards and not just respecting your spouse, but you're not respecting yourself. It doesn't matter what the excuse is. You know, I dealt with that before. Like most of my relationship, all my exes, like I say, had cheated on me at one point. Well, why? Because like what the person said in the comment, emotionally has nothing to do with it. It's just because you get emotional about something, you have to learn how to evolve from it and say, you know what, this person messed up, but I messed up too. And that's the problem nowadays. Nowadays, no one admits their flaws. Like, for instance, like I don't want to put my business out there, but my biggest flaws is I get really aggressive. Like, look, I understand where you're coming from, that you say you've been saying that. I admit it. I was in the bookings for a week. You know, I have been arrested before, and it does changes people. It does change, like, people go through trauma that not everyone can fully understand unless you're in their shoes. And my big mistake I make with my spouse, I do get aggressive. But here's one thing Goddess can say to me, and she can defend me on this. I will never disrespect a woman mentally, physically, or spiritually. That's something that I live for. But if you're going to cheat or be destroyed because you're upset with the person or you have an experiment or whatever it is, then you're mentally not prepared to be with that person. You're still wrong. You need to grow. And that's like, what's wrong nowadays.
When I came into this relationship, like I said, I came in with very skittish views. Like, how many guys she's talking to, how many guys she's saying the same sweet nothings to me with, like, you know, like, oh, I love you, babe, and in case maybe, like, all this other stuff. And I came in with this, like, conception. But she understands my conception, she understands my point. She tells me the same thing. She's like, what makes you think that you're not going out doing the same thing, you know, that you're not cheating on me, or case may be. And Goddess knows I'm a very faithful person. When I'm with somebody, I'm with somebody. Like, there's no, like, stopping me from this. And, you know, the thing with her is that we came to a boundary. We came to a conversation. And I said, listen, she's getting out in years. She's getting out in 2024. This is not just a year.
It's a long way. It's a long way. That's why
it's a long way
for him.
And
it's
we
for
talked
him
about it.
for nothing.
Yeah. Just don't tell me about it. And so I got that permission, but I don't do it. She has a girl in jail she messes around with. That's on her. She tells me all the girls. Like, God knows my life. I'm very candid.
You know, it's the last.
I need a Phil Jackson time out. I need a Phil Jackson time out. First of all, homegirl in jail, right? Mm-hmm. She has a need. I get all that. I get that. She messing around with somebody in the box. I get that too. But she's giving you a hall pass to go smash whoever.
Yeah, like I have to be
getting on this chick to come out in 2024.
I told her. I said, listen. I said, when this comes out, when you come out, I'm yours. There's no other way around it now. I stop everything for her.
Promises is gonna be.
See, here's the thing. Goddess knows.
That's a damn.
Goddess knows
That's a good stuff.
that when I give us something to somebody, I'm everything for somebody. I can show emotions off somebody.
Sam, let me read some of these questions for you.
Go for it.
All right, Sal says, if you don't mind me asking, how did this person end up in prison?
Okay, so they've been in prison for 4.5 years already. You know, they were in for drugs. They did some heroin. They also did some pills, and it's not the easiest. And all the stories about me is that I'm an addict in recovery. I've been 9 years sober. Don't want to deal with it. And she's like this. She's like, and then we talked about that as well. She's like, what if I go back to my previous life? I'm like, then you're done. I can drop everything off, a drop of a hat. My recovery comes first before anybody. Friend, family, girlfriend, whatever. It's like, I will put that first all the time. And she got caught up, like, you know, like, when I met her on that site, I asked her what she was in jail for. And she told me, and I Googled her name, and I found her mugshot. She looks ratchet as fuck, but still fucking hilarious. You know, and I told her, I said, like, you know, when you get out, I'm taking a 5x7 of that picture and I'm putting it by your side of the bed because every time you want to look at fucking up, look at that picture. It's like, you know, it's like you are not gonna, like, you know, go to your life because I won't allow it. And if you do, then you're done. It's like, you know, she came in with the concept, like, you know, she told me one day on the text message, like, oh, I'm running low on my trip, you know, I'll message you when I can. And she didn't say, oh, can you send me money? Can you keep this conversation going? She just said, hey, I need money on my, you know, she didn't say that. She just said, hey, I'm running low on Trillions. I'll message you when I can. And me out of nowhere.
You do invest a lot in her though, right?
Yeah. You know, dropped like $40 on her book for a person I don't know. And the thing is that I said, you know what? I'm investing myself, and it's an investment. When you're dating someone who's incarcerated for long of a time, it's an investment. It's an emotional investment, a spiritual investment, it's a financial investment, it's a fucking physical investment.
Nicholas Savage says, how do you keep the intimacy, how do you balance out the intimacy in a relationship if you can't be with your significant other physically?
Easy. And I'll tell you, there's two ways to handle that. Like, you know, she has her thing. She does what she does in jail. I do what I do out here. But the thing is, I don't mess around really much out here. But on time, you know, but she had to use little words. Like, she can't say she messed around with a girl in jail. So she had to use those code words like in my dream or in my study section.
The key word is with each other. How do you, how are you guys intimate at all?
Speaking of her, she texted me just now. You just don't even But it's just like one of those things where the intimacy with each other, when she tells me stories about when she messes with the girl, I get off on that shit while I'm hearing that shit. So I use my hand for that shit. That's the most important thing. I don't care. My hand can go for a fucking 3 years. I don't care. Like, you know, I have seen this girl, like, people are like, oh, she might be a catfish. What if she's a catfish? Because when they post their picture on Facebook or before they got locked up or people be. No, we video chat once a week like this. I see her on the video chat. She's great fucking people. She has a southern accent. You want to cry. I'm like, because when I first heard her voice, I was like, hi. She said hi. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to talk anything for 14 minutes. You're just going to talk because your voice is hot. And that's really it. You know what?
Now, you know how I do, right? You know I always do my research. I did a little research, and one of the most common things that I've seen is that if you don't know this person prior to them being in prison, that sending them anything is a no-no. That's one.
Yeah.
I also seen that it's common for, you know, somebody that you didn't meet prior to them being, you know, locked up, is that sometimes they'll have whatever feelings with you or relationship with you while they're incarcerated, and then it'll be somebody totally different once, you know, they're let out or they come or they're free again. And those are my worries for you. Those are my worries.
Yeah. And you know what? And here's the thing: is like, you know, like in the 3 months I've known her, I've dropped like $900 already. When you watch Love at the Lock,
You've seen their faces, right?
yeah.
You can't
Dude, I don't even drop $100 on me. Like, guys, no, I don't even like spending my money, but damn.
I dropped myself at $200 for a pair of Timbs. That's it.
When you watch Love at the Lock,
Listen, the max I spend, I'm gonna be honest, I spend like a G, but I spend it not just on my girl, but I spend it on her kids. Because, you know, I love those kids like they were my own. And God is, you know that.
when you watch Love at the Lockup, that show on A&E, when you watch that shit and you see these simps, like I'm using a perfect example, Deontay's a simp. Deontay's a total simp through and through. Music's coming. And the thing is that he's dropped over like 30K on this girl. But the thing,
Watch that show all the time, and that show has me fucking bewildered. Like, what are these dudes doing?
like, you know, like I follow 2 girls on Instagram that's been through federal prison that talk about the ins and outs of federal prison and I'm friends with one of them, and we talk on Instagram off here. It's like, it's a big support right now. And the thing is, I said, I don't know how to feel with this right now. Like, I feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like, yeah, I might be used for money. I feel like, you know, I'm a simp. And I'm, you know, and my biggest fear and concern is that she comes out in 3 years, and I'm there waiting at the gate for her, and she bypasses me and she goes with her family. It's like, that's my biggest fear. And she's like, that's not going to happen. You don't have to worry about that. And I'm like, you can say so much, but you can do so little.
Thank you. You literally took the word right out of my mouth when you said that.
Which leads me to my next question. What is it about her that makes you feel so loved or so like this is worth it?
Like,
Yeah, it's an obvious question.
like I don't want to sound like stereotypical, and I don't want to sound fucked about it. But you know what? When someone dates an inmate that's been an inmate themselves, they kind of have a gravitational pull to each other. They can understand each other a little bit better than someone who's just a fucking civilian. It's like someone, like, you know, she's not gonna disown me because, you know, I have an assault charge on my record and I spent time in prison. You know, she's not gonna disown me for that. You know, she's not gonna, like, you know, she's been, I could throw a stone at her. I'm like, well, guess what? You fucking sold drugs on top. It's like, you know, like, I can say the same shit. It's like,
So
I'm not gonna do
basically, it's like, look at her position, so she can't really judge me for anything that I am. She accepts me for who I am.
You know what it
Like,
is? They're looking at themselves like a mirror. Different charges, but they're looking at themselves in the mirror like, he's been through what I've been through. So he knows a taste of what I've been through. So it's common, yeah. But what I learned with my significant other, maybe it's true. Because I kinda wanna be on his side for this. When you meet someone that not just been through what you've been through, but it's just like you, personality, mentally, it becomes a magnet. Like, you guys, like, got it. You and your significant, your hubby, y'all love wrestling, and that magnifies that too, to be more attached to each other. You guys love to do podcasts. Me and my girl, we just love being rebellious. We love to be independent. We love to do stuff like on our own. So that's what gravitated us. Now you and your girl, y'all both had the prison mentality. So that magnet was there already, and you guys end up pulling each other through because the conversation was going to be interesting. Now, that's something that not everyone's going to understand fully. Like, I'm on your side on this one. Like, I'm a little hesitant. I'm going to be honest. God will tell you, I'm always straight dude. The whole waiting for 3 years, a lot can change in those 3 years. A lot can change tomorrow. A lot can change in the second that no one really can think about. But because you put it in that terms, I have to respect you on that. I can't say, bro, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. No, because we all see it. The only difference is, man, you said it with pure, and you said it as a strong man to knowing, like, hey, this is how I really feel. I'm not gonna deny it. And not every man in your case is gonna admit that. So I
the funny thing is that, you know, like, that gravitational pull. It's that gravitational pull where we all gravitate towards a significant other. Like God is like wrestling, all that shit. But the thing is, I want to see, is there more substance besides that inmate mentality? Like,
and in all honesty, that's your risk. That's your risk to test yourself out to see if there is more to it. Like, in all honesty, I can tell that Goddess and her husband probably have more in common that I don't know about. Me and my girl got more in common than not the whole world knows about. But that's what's the beauty about being with someone that you're in love with and that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You want to see the risk of why am I still replicating that person? There has to be a reason for it. So maybe not in 3 years, but maybe tomorrow you're gonna find out the real truth. Why this girl is like that person you want to wait for? Maybe later on tonight.
Conversational pieces are important, but also that little thing. Like, a good example is that she called me like 2 weeks ago. We were talking about college basketball. She likes college basketball. She likes sports. So I'm like, oh, yeah, we can college basketball with me. She's like, Duke. I'm like, oh, we probably not going to talk to you tomorrow. I'm done with you. I'm a North Carolina Tar Heel fan. And it's, it's like, we fight for the little
North Carolina guy, bro. I love that shit.
And she's like, oh, get out. Like, we having a rivalry, we having a bet. I'm like, that's a bet. Because I tell you right now, like, like, we laugh. Like, our conversations are not just all seriousness and shit. We have, like, laughs in the moment. Like, today I texted her this morning. I said, good morning, babe. I said, just like, Webster called. They wanted to change the dictionary of Goddess and put a picture of you in it. It's like, things like that. She's like, you're stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, it's like, like, we laugh over... I'm a goofball. She'll tell you, Goddess will tell you that I'm a goofball. I make people laugh all day. Like, I don't give a shit. I make you laugh.
I'm in the same boat with you on that one.
And like,
yeah, that's
if you've seen her Instagram post from 2 years ago, like, we went to the Halloween store together and I was twerking fucking in the Halloween store. It's like, like things like that. Like,
you go through my page, you're gonna see a lot of stupid shit on my page. You're gonna see me doing dumb shit. That Goddess even asked me, like, how the fuck you still alive for doing all this shit? I'm like, listen, I like to have fun. I like to put my body on the line. That's the same thing on that, bro.
Just be a wrestler. She's already a fighter.
That's true.
I missed her phone call because my ringer was off, because when I'm at work, I turn my ringer off because I don't really bother at work. So I thought I turned it back. Monday, the Tuesday, go off 2 days. And I thought I turned it back up. I took a nap for a brief minute. I missed her call. So this morning I said, don't worry, my ringer's on. And he texted me, she's like, I can't wait to hear your voice too. Your phone ringer better be on, let my ass off.
You gotta what this term in Latino, you gotta tóxica, bro. That's what it is. You got a tóxica, my man. Trust me, we love them. Even though they drive us crazy, we love it though, because you know what it is? It shows that we got their attention. Like, they need that trait, like, yo, this nigga better have his phone on, he better have this on. We love it. We thrive on it. I'm gonna be honest with you, ladies. We love that shit. Guys say that you love that shit, they live a boring fucking life.
I've told all my friends that I know in New York, out here where I'm living now and everything. I said, when she gets out, I said, give her a fair shake of who she is. You can make a judgment. That judgment will be yours, that's yours, and you're entitled to it. Give her a fair shake.
I'm not judging at all. I'm looking for help. All she needs to know is that you have a BMF Goddess for a friend, and I don't play. That's
You
it.
know, she asked like, and I said, who's your 3 closest friends? And I told her 3 of my closest friends, and one of them Goddess. And I said, just so you know, she's a Spitfire Puerto Rican who will fucking devour you if you fucking get shit.
There you
It's
go.
like, you know, she ain't lying. And but the thing is, I
do it, too. The MF Goddess will hold you down.
you know, she was like, I met
No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Goddess.
I'm fucking with you. You know, I gotta fuck with you. I don't fuck with you. My day is weird.
So look at these veins. It's not
I met Goddess at a show in the Bronx. I met her at a BWF show. And you know, at first she was kind of standoffish, like whatever, like, you know, because whatever. But we warmed up to each other and started talking to each other. And, you know, and we hung out one day. And we went to Red Lobster, her first time ever, went to Red Lobster. And I paid for the entire meal for Red Lobster in the morning. And it was fucking cool as shit. And we had such a good time. And the thing is that, you know, I knew I could trust this girl with anything. I knew that, you know, she was my best friend. And the thing is that,
but you know how
even though I still like her. You know, Chris, you're an ass. I hope you hear me.
I think that's everybody experience with Goddess. Like me and Goddess haven't met personally, and hopefully, you know, we do one day. But the moment like we introduce ourselves, and you know, I've been, you know, lucky enough to be her guest a couple times in our podcast. And all I gotta say is that I think it's when you feel that energy, it doesn't matter, even if it's on social media or whatever, feel that energy, you know, you can get along with the person, and that person also been through a lot of trauma, that they understand that just being tough on someone is good, but being tough on someone can also make you turn into somebody else. And you don't want to do that, you know. And the vibe that Goddess gives us, she understands that we've been through a lot, and I think it's time for all of us to actually get the peaceful part of our life now. Not that whole, it's a hard knock life, and we just gotta keep stepping up. No, sometimes we need that little push, like, yo, you got it. I know what you're going through. Just letting you know now it's gonna be tough, but I'm here. And that's what Goddess, she brings that environment. She doesn't have to bring like, yo, fuck that, be a man, stop being a little bitch. Like, no, she don't do that. You know why? Because we've been hearing that all our lives.
But don't get me
something different that we're not used to, and it's actually helpful because we need to understand that. And that's something that I think everybody should understand when your girl comes out. When your girl comes out, everybody got to give her that, yo, we here. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. But don't get it wrong, Goddess does have a sensitive side to her, because when it came to earlier this year, like I moved there for a job. I told her I moved there for Philadelphia. You can hear the break in her voice saying, I'm not going to see you not anymore. We're not going to be at wrestling shows anymore together. You know, like, because I sit with her all the time and we joke all the time. And it's like, now it's like I'm moving further away, and like I'm 300 miles away. I'm not just a skip away. It's like, it's hard for her, and I understand that. And I, you know, and that's why, like, you know, she needs to come out here to see me. I told her that. I say, her in person to come out here to see me one day. It's like, you know, she has interest, and that's why, you know, that's why I told her. I said, when Taylor gets out, that's the girl's name. I said, when Taylor gets out, you have to meet her, because I tell you right now, I know damn well that I'm talking to her, and while me and Chris are going to be playing fucking WWE 2K25,
that's my superpower.
That's the truth. Like, look, the Goddess doesn't even know my girl, and the Goddess loves my girl already. She hasn't even met her. She hasn't, like, I think she's seen pictures. That's it. She hasn't even met her. She's like, no, I love her already. I'm like, you haven't even met her yet.
Feel the vibe through the pictures.
The vibe, because she knows.
Hey, listen, I only know this woman.
Oh, there she is.
I only know Goddess.
Go ahead, show her.
Yeah, I only know. Oh,
You can't see, that's sun. How's the sun over there? But it's fucking cloudy and shit
Right
right
there?
there. Oh, damn. Oh, okay. I'll definitely wait for her for 3 years if I was you.
So another.
Listen, I just don't want you to end up on America's Most Wanted, bro. I just.
So let's break the myth down.
I'll watch that one day, and you're.
So let's break the myth.
Excuse me, circus.
My man said, I don't want you to be in America most. Oh, man.
Terrible.
But she's really good. Like she's good people. You know, she's from the South. She's from Tennessee. She loves everybody. You know, she has no problem with anybody. And the thing is that there are people in prison who legitimately want to change their life and legitimately change who they are. And there's some people vacation stay and go back to the same shit they did when they got in. It's like, you know what?
And that's the thing that I said earlier before I joined you guys. You know, not everybody in prison has the same mentality. Like for instance, when I was there, I was dealing with thugs. And I'm like, nah, when I go back out, I gotta take back my territory, this and that. But you're doing that, you're repeating the cycle. But there are some that want to change for the better, not just for their family, but they want to change better for themselves because they have to evolve. And sometimes you got to give that chance. Doesn't matter. Listen, I look at it this way. We're not the devil and we're not God. Only they got the right to do what they're meant to do. We're
like I told you,
as we gotta learn, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna do things that we're gonna regret for the rest of our lives, but we have to evolve from it. And if we don't evolve from it, then we're not human beings. And that's what everybody really needs to pay attention to.
Like I told her, be preaching. This guy is wise.
I told her. I said, "What is your motivation? Like living in jail that's going to make you get better next time. You don't go back to jail at all." And she's like, "Oh, I did the RADAP program. You know, I'm getting my GED. She's almost done with that. You know, she's doing the right things for herself." And I said, "Are you doing it to preoccupy time and you just collecting space in that seat, or are you actually learning stuff?" And she's like, "I'm actually learning stuff." I'm like, "Good." Because I tell you right now, you go back to the life you had, you don't even have me in your life. So you need to understand is that if you go back to that heroin shit and the case may be, I'll disown you and drop you over the face of the house. I will take whatever. Your parole comes and says you know, they need you and you fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up right now. You can take her. I'm not gonna cover for you. It's like, I don't do that. It's like, I'm not getting myself a bitch. I'm sorry. And that's what I told myself. I said, I'm not getting myself jammed up for some crap. Right. And the thing is, that, Jay, I appreciate that because but the thing is that, you know what? When you're dating someone who's in prison, your bullshit detector has to be 10 times higher than it normally is. Because you got shit. It's like, like I asked her, I said, "Oh, what about the RADAP program? Tell me what's that like, in case maybe." And then when she's not talking to me, she's talking to Nate. What am I up? I'm up doing my homework. What's the RADAP program in jail? I check her release date. I check everything I can see. Like I've been check everything. I'm a fact. You're talking something, I'm gonna fact check you quick. Let's do a fact check. Is that federal jail stuff? Is that fact check is that she does this and she does that. I check my homework. I said, listen, because I have some dude that I'm cool with, her, and of course she told him sweet nothings because she's like, "Oh yeah, it's lonely, I love him, A through B," and of course she's gonna tell some dude that I told her the message because she's fucking just put a fucking persona on. But the thing is that she doesn't tell anybody else. She avoided the single question when Yasmin asked her, said, "Hey, are you single?" She avoided that like the plague. But the thing that's all too.
She was like, "Oh yeah, you want to send me money? Here's my info."
I told her, I said something different. You get $300 a month every single month. I said, if you need some other dude to fit your fucking bill, then you need to find that other dude. I said, you should be grateful for what you have. Because I tell you right now, like I didn't tell God it, like I told God this morning. I took another job. I took a part-time job so I can work 2 jobs. The money that I get from this 2 jobs is my rent bill. That's really it. I'm trying to save as much money as I can because I don't want to sound wrong about it again, but when she gets out, I'm going to buy her an iPhone. I'm going to buy her her clothes. I'm going to buy her her makeup. Like, because she's going to need that when she gets out. And that's what a real man has to do when she gets out. And same thing for a real woman. Like, a real woman got to do that for a man when he gets out. Like, buying some clothes in case we need.
Fully invested.
Same, like, hey, I'm going to fucking $50 of clothes.
You got 3 long years to think about it.
Sophia said, just be careful. I ended up in a domestic violence relationship with someone, with the same person who wrote sweet words on them letters.
It's hard. When you're in a relationship with somebody who's inside, it's hard. You know, it's hard because, you know, like, I go through fucking mild words a minute. I'm like, oh, is she cheating on me? You know, is she talking to other dudes? But the thing is that, you know what? That goes at ease. That's been at ease. Because, like I said, she sent me a message like literally 10 minutes ago. But the thing is, I'll send her a message back. She'll get that 2 hours from now. Because
Sal said you can't fault people for mistakes they made in the past forever.
back, babe, back.
Absolutely not.
That should be a goal for the day.
But I just say, you know, it's hard enough to get to know people in person. Imagine trying to really get to know someone who you never see.
Because now I found through Panda Express they have this orange chicken.
You know, to invest so much, and then when that time comes, if you guys, you know, live together and whatever you cannot fucking stand each other. Because being together is a total different thing. Living together is another different thing.
Yeah, that's a totally different animal, bro.
Yeah, that is different. Like right now,
you know what you do is that I have a daughter who's not legitimately mine, but she called me dad because she has autism. She called me dad. She's been, you know, that way he is. I'm her dad. There's no other way around it. The girl's married now, whatever. I'm still her dad. She'll call me dad on the phone, whatever. Thing is this, the girl that I had this kid with, that I supposedly had this kid with, and I found out she wasn't mine after a while, that she stole $1,900 from me, lied about breast cancer, and then we went to a nice dinner, and then fucking up and up the next day.
And that's someone you need to touch with.
And you know what, and ever since that one situation, I kept myself on guard. Any kind of person I tried to date, don't get me wrong, a lot of them fell through the cracks. The Philadelphia girl fell through the cracks. Here's the thing.
Yeah, because the backstory, guys, is that before this girl in prison, he met this girl in Philly while he was still in New York. And after a very short time, decided to go live with her in PA.
Yeah.
And it ended up terribly. So you can't imagine my response when he tells me the next person is somebody in prison. I'm like,
but here's the funny thing. God's gonna tell you, any that I had a situation that happened, I landed on my feet every fucking time. I'm a captain every fucking time. Because when that Philadelphia thing happened, I found myself a job. I found myself a room. I found myself.
You did your thing. You took care of yourself and you bounced back from it. My thing is just that it's so much toxic. You know?
It is so hard because you have to tell yourself you can't let a city find you what situation. You can't do it. Like I'm not gonna let anyone get you at all. Call calls me, and she gets like, oh, I need money and I need this. And I'll tell her no, like, no, I can, it's not possible. Like, my rent's in less than 2 weeks. I can't do it right now, but I'll do what I can.
Sophia just said what I said earlier. She said, like I said, be careful, because they can be one way inside and they turn into a whole new person on the outside.
Oh,
But this is just so that you are aware, you know, for when she does come out.
you know, I'm aware.
She comes out and she hits you, just punch her in the fucking head. That's it. No, I'm just fucking with you. Don't do that. Just, you know, it is something like I said earlier. You know, like I said, 3 years is a long time. You don't know those 3 years, you could be a different person each day. Every second you learn. And I learned over the years that every second is a lesson for us to learn, not just for us to learn it and be better for ourselves, but it's also to pass it on. You know, we need to also teach the generation after us, even though the generation after us is fucking retarded, but it's whatever. You know, you got to show them a little bit about the wisdom like that we go through in every second. And for her, inside there, she's just seeing walls. She's seeing a cell. Here's what I learned from being in prison, and me as a person that, you know, got locked up in the bookings and everything, but this is me as a PTSD guy. When you're caged up for a long time, you're not just a human being. You also turn into this animal you haven't got it. And sometimes this is something that people don't get. The more you cage a beast that has PTSD or has been locked up with trauma or has been through a claustrophobic environment, it's more dangerous to cage them inside when they're out. Because when they're out and they see that freedom, they forget about the rules we have now. You know, the rules: don't assault somebody, don't look for trouble or nothing, because you're not in the inside anymore. So you're letting that beast out. It's just like in the zoo. You're putting an inhabited animal in a cage. You know what's gonna happen when you let it go. They're gonna be really wild.
That's gonna be your ass.
Instant. So we don't know if she's gonna be like that in 3 years. In 3 years, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I'm free. I'm with the love of my life," or whatever your thing's gonna be. But then one day, that snap is gonna happen in the blink of an eye. We don't know that. We don't know that's gonna happen, and not just putting you at risk. But you said to yourself, you have an autistic daughter. That's gonna be at risk now. You also gotta think of it that way. You gotta put herself at risk. So that's something that is gonna be thinking for a long time. Like me, I admit it myself. I hate being caged inside my own house. But sometimes, you know, I get to be home and relax. But when I'm out, I'm out like an animal. Like my instinct is, whoever fucked me outside, I'm gonna fuck them up because I've been caged up too long.
The one thing we've said, and I've told her, because like, you know, we know she gets out and she has this battle of demons. You gotta, like, you know, get a job, be a productive society member. And the thing is that, you know, that's what we talk about. And she's like, babe, how hard are you gonna push me to find a job when I get out? I'm gonna push you, but I'm not gonna push you to the point of making you so you know what you need to do. You do. Because, you know what? You're getting enough push from your parole officer. You don't need enough push from me. Like, you know, because I want to be someone's dad. I didn't sign up to be a dad. I'm not a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a boyfriend. Whatever caliber I am at the time, I said I am that. But you need to understand, when push comes to shove, you know what you have to do. Like, I work at a job. I work at a good job. 530 Okay, cool. First hands up, cool. I will go if I have to. But the thing is this, I told her, the job is I'm open about okay, cool. But the thing is that my job is in their words that if they like to they said if you stay here until the long haul, until she gets out, and if you're staying in the state that you're staying in now, they're doing for a job. It's like, but the thing is this, I told her, I said, you're going to have to understand, I am doing everything I can. Like, I want to make less focus when he gets out, but I don't want her to feel dependent. I said, you need to understand that, your restitution is your restitution. Will I help you out? Absolutely. I will help you the best I can. I'll pay half that shit if I have to. Sure. But the thing is this, your restitution is your restitution. When you get out, rent is 50-50. Cell phone, 50-50. Because I can't really know. I'm not so much sugar that I'm not so much sugar. But the thing is this, I'm over and getting
I can't hear.
Right, that was my bad.
I'm saying, like, yo, I was about to call 911 right now. Like, what's going on over there?
Bro, I would have called 911 first.
but the thing is, I told Taylor, I said, you have to understand, when you get out,
Sid, you gotta end this soon, because Instagram's gonna shut me down. I just wanna, I'm always there for you. I just wanna wish you the best, and I wanna thank you guys for coming on and joining us. And thank you for everybody who's listening and watching today, and we appreciate your interaction.
That was about the point my brain was on.
My advice to everyone watching, don't date someone in prison. But
Yo, she's stupid.
You gonna say that? You gonna say that with this live? You gonna say that?
One thing you have to tell yourself, though.
I'm there for them. I support
I
them.
will give you
Other people, I wouldn't say, hey, go try it for yourself. No.
It's not for everybody, But
Yeah, I'm gonna try this new dating app called Rifle. But
There's
here's
too many people in the world.
yeah, like this guy. It was funny.
So thank you guys. Have a good night. May the force be with you. My BMF Army. Love y'all. BMF Goddess on YouTube. Please subscribe. Later.
All right,
All right, guys. Good luck.